So I was going through my old sketchbooks last night and I noticed some instances where my drawings improved extremely fast, some instances where my drawing just didn't improve at all, and some instances where my drawing actually regressed. But if I compare all of the sketchbooks that I finished in 6 months, I can see that there is an overall improvement in the quality of my drawings. Compared to when I started drawing in September of 2025, I think I have come a long way. And in this video, I wanted to talk about sort of my philosophy on how I managed to improve my art in 6 months. Don't focus on the 6 months part. So this is not a novel concept or a philosophy that I just pulled out of thin air. This has been talked about by many different art teachers, many different art content creators. In fact, the idea for this video actually comes from two content creators that I watch. First one is Broken Draw, and his video on the exercise to improve really quickly at painting. And the other one is from Picat, and it's from one of her short where she talks about if boxes are not clicking for you, just move along, maybe something else will, and I'll try to connect those later when I talk about things. Let's just get started. And my philosophy for improving art has to do everything with art fundamentals. As a beginner, like, people always tell you to practice your art fundamental, and rightfully so. Many times people are a bit vague about what they mean by art fundamentals, so I'll try to talk about what art fundamentals are here as well. So here I have a chart with art fundamentals, and for me, because I draw a lot of people, lots of bodies, heads, these are what I consider my fundamentals to be, but they can be different depending on what kind of drawing you do. But these should translate to every type of drawing. For me, I've considered fundamentals to be shapes and volumes, values, gesture, perspective, anatomy, and line quality. All of these fundamentals directly affect the quality of your drawing or the quality of your art. The catalyst, the driving factor for improvement has to always be practice. The basic philosophy here is, and here I have these empty bars to show your expertise or your mastery in each of these fundamentals, and then below I have like a bigger box to show you your art quality expertise, right? So as a beginner, all of these bars are going to be empty for you. You're going to have empty bars, which you need to fill up by practicing those things, by understanding those things, and by learning about those things. But the good thing is these bars, once they fill up, they will contribute directly to the bigger box down below, which is your art quality. Now, the most important thing to note here is that these fundamentals are not mutually exclusive. And what I mean by that is these fundamentals are also connected to each other. So shapes and volumes are probably connected with perspective, anatomy and gesture are probably connected. Your line quality, line thickness, and values may also be connected. When I started drawing, the biggest mistake I made was taking them as mutually exclusive. I thought, before I need to practice anatomy, I need to practice shapes and volumes, or I need to move to gesture. And once I'm like an expert at doing gesture studies, then I need to move to anatomy. That led to a form of burnout where I was not improving as much in my choice of dimension of art fundamental, but I was also too scared, or I had this mindset where I was like, oh, if I'm not good at shapes, why should I even attempt gesture or anatomy? So I was doing like bunch of boxes and perspective studies, and I was like, I'll just dip my toes into anatomy. And sure enough, it was not the best. Just dipping those toes gives you a sense of familiarity. Knowing for the fact that my anatomy sucks is better than never attempting to draw anatomy at all. That's what I think. And I'll give you an anecdote to explain better what I mean. Growing up, I was the slowest kid in school, in races. This year, for some weird fucking reason, in January, I decided to sign up to a 10K in March. And there was this sense of unfamiliarity with running a 10K, right? Because I'd never done it before. But I did. I ran 10K. I came second to last. And I got a medal that says finisher on it, which is pretty awesome if you ask me. But what I now had was the sense of familiarity of running a 10K. So next time when I attempt to run a 10K, I at least have like that sense of familiarity. This is exactly what it comes to drawing, is you need to at least attempt, even if it's bad, to attempt drawing something or attempt these other fundamentals so that you know what is wrong. And that opens the door for improvement. Art improvement is in small increments. And this comes from Broken Draw's video. He talks about how he has been drawing for a long time. His drawings are decent, but when he actually learned how to paint, that brought up his entire art quality really up. And that is the idea that I'm taking from his video. You draw some things you find that you're good at. Maybe you just draw anime heads all the time. Next time, try adding a bit more shading and you will instantly notice improvements. Or if you're doing architectural drawing, maybe improve your line quality, make your lines thicker where there are opulent shadows, and maybe make your lines thinner where there are highlights, and you'll immediately see an improvement in your art quality. And as a beginner, like, nobody is going to come around and be like, oh, this is good, this is bad, you suck, blah blah blah, unless you share artwork, of course. As a beginner, that sketchbook where you practice, it belongs to you. You're free to do whatever you want with it, and you're free to jump around. And this brings me to the other idea I had from PCAT's video, is where some things just click, some things just don't, some things click later on. For me, boxes never really clicked. I practiced a lot of boxes, but they never clicked for me. I never understood why am I doing this, except for maybe perspective studies. But then I started doing anatomy studies, I started doing gestures. That's when drawing boxes really clicked for me, when I was drawing heads. And this plane change over here, and then plane change over here, I could describe that better using a box. And then I had my aha moment as to, okay, this is why practicing boxes is better. Maybe I'll make a video about how practicing boxes actually helps you as a beginner, if you're interested in that. But that's the thing, like, some things just don't click. That doesn't mean you'll try to brute force it. You will just move on to the other dimension where you can improve and you can come back. Like anatomy and boxes, they are really well connected. So now when I'm drawing torso, when I'm drawing pelvis, I'm studying Bridgman and I exclusively use boxes. And that's how boxes clicked for me. If you suck at anatomy, just try doing gesture. Try following Michael Hampton's 16-line gesture drawing, or videos from Live Life Drawing, another very good channel. And then once you feel like, oh, gesture is this, and then maybe you can come back to anatomy, and anatomy clicks more for you. And that's the beauty of being a beginner, is you get to jump around among these dimensions. You feel burnout in this dimension, just jump around to the other one and try to bring all of these up. And people will say, oh, you need to specialize, blah blah. I don't think so. I mean, these are fundamentals. These are not like specializations. No matter what you draw in the future, you will need these. So the other thing I've noticed about my art progress is it's never like linear like that. It comes in waves. Sometimes I feel like I'm reaching peak flow state, or I'm like, I must be a fun genius if I can draw like this, like straight out of the bat. And sometimes I'm like in One Piece when Perona's ghosts touch you, like, I suck, I should maybe just quit art. Technically, the graph looks like this. So your overall growth, the trajectory, is still linear. This is like where you're jumping into one dimension of art fundamental, for example, and you start seeing rapid improvement because it's still new for you. And then slowly that improvement dies down, and then this is your sign to jump to the other fundamental like dimension. And then you practice that here, improvement, and then again, after you feel like you peaked sort of here, and you start feeling that burnout, this is your sign to jump again to other dimension, and so on and so forth. And in the long run, you have improved like in a linear trajectory. This is my basic philosophy on how to improve as an artist. This is not supposed to be a like quick fix to improving, because this big fucking wall of practice lies here which you have to break down. And the more boxes you fill out, like so, the more it's going to translate into your art quality box down here, like so. Hopefully that made sense. I actually had an epiphany for this video in my dream. Sounds funny. uh, but yeah, and hopefully you're able to take something from this video. If you're a beginner like me, feel free to jump around, man. It's like, it's your fucking world. You're a beginner. Try everything. Try everything and see what you like, see what you don't like. Take advice, but also listen to yourself. That's like the biggest point about art. It's not supposed to be constrained by things. Art is supposed to be free, art is supposed to be fun, and it is supposed to be an expression of yourself. And eventually, I promise you, you will start seeing improvement in your overall art. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.